Picture this. December 31st, 1979, America. The sun is already gone by 5, the streetlights humming to life one by one, their glow reflecting off thin patches of dirty snow pushed up against the curb. The neighborhood looks ordinary, almost dull. Ranch houses, split levels, vinyl siding, nothing special, but inside those houses, something is building. Not excitement the way it looks now. Not noise, not spectacle, just preparation. The quiet kind, because tonight matters. The grocery run happened early. You didn't wait until afternoon, not on New Year's Eve. Everyone knew better. The parking lot was already full by 10 in the morning. Big sedans lined up crooked in the snow, exhaust clouds hanging low in the cold air. Inside, the store felt tense in a calm way. Carts heavy, aisles slow. People checking lists, doubling back, making sure they didn't forget anything. Because once you were home, you were home. Stores closed early. Some wouldn't open again until the 2nd. Running out wasn't an option. You bought too much on purpose. Plastic party trays went into carts first. Shrimp cocktail rings sealed in clear domes. Cubes of mild cheddar and Monterey Jack, already cut, already sweating. Little tubs of onion dip, sour cream thick and cold. Bags of chips stacked on the bottom rack. Ruffles, Lay's. Maybe Doritos if someone wanted to be fancy. Crackers nobody really liked but always bought anyway. Ritz, Townhouse, and drinks, lots of drinks. Cheap champagne with gold foil on the neck. Andre, Cook's. Maybe a bottle of something better if it was a good year. Beer by the case. Cans, not bottles. Easier. Kids begged for sparkling grape juice, the kind in the glass bottle with the fake cork that popped loud enough to feel important. By afternoon, the house was already warming up, not from the furnace, but from activity. The thermostat argument happened early. Dad wanted it lower. Mum said people were coming. A compromise was reached and ignored. Coats were laid out on beds upstairs. Folding chairs came down from the garage. The card table appeared, legs snapping into place in the corner of the living room, like it had been waiting all year for this exact night. Aluminum foil covered everything, trays, bowls, even plates that didn't match. Nobody cared. Outside, the cold stayed sharp. Snowbanks hardened into grey ice. You could hear shovels scraping from down the block, someone clearing a path even though no one was going anywhere. The driveway glistened. Dad went out once more before dark, chipping at the ice around the tires, more out of habit than need. He came back in with red ears and cold hands, rubbing them together near the vent, leaving wet boot prints that Mum pretended not to see. By evening, the house looked full even before anyone arrived. Lamps on in every room. The television glowing blue in the corner, sound low, just background noise for now. TV guide sat open on the coffee table, pages bent back, pencil marks circling programs like decisions that mattered. No remotes on the couch, no pausing. If you missed something, you missed it. So everyone agreed early. Dick Clark stayed on. No debate. Times Square would come to you whether you lived in New York or not. People arrived in waves. Neighbors first, then family, then friends of family who felt like family, because this was the kind of night where nobody checked the guest list. The door opened and closed constantly, letting in blasts of cold air that cut through the house for a second before disappearing into laughter and voices. Snow-dusted coats, scarves piled up. Someone always tripped over shoes near the door. Someone always forgot where they left their gloves. Cigarette smoke filled the rooms fast. It clung to the curtains, settled into the carpet, hung in the air thick enough to taste. Everyone smoked inside, without thinking about it. Ashtrays filled up, emptied, filled again. The smell mixed with onion dip, cheap champagne, coffee brewing in the kitchen just in case someone needed it later. The house felt alive in a heavy, crowded way, bodies close, voices overlapping, no one worried about personal space. In the kitchen, the drink situation took shape. Champagne bottles lined up in the sink, chilling in ice water. Beer cans stacked in the fridge and overflowed into a cooler by the back door. Someone tried to be helpful and shook a bottle too much. Someone else opened it anyway. Foam hit the ceiling. Everyone laughed. Paper towels appeared. It happened every year. It was expected. The food came out early, even though everyone pretended it wouldn't be touched until later. Shrimp disappeared fast. Cheese cubes vanished off toothpicks, leaving little piles of bare sticks behind like evidence. Little smokies sat in a crock-pot bubbling in barbecue sauce, smelling sweet and smoky, calling people back to the kitchen over and over. Kids hovered, grabbing what they could, pretending they weren't hungry while clearly being starving. The television volume went up as the night settled in. Dick Clark looked impossibly calm, impossibly young, standing somewhere warm and crowded while the rest of the country watched from living rooms and basements. You could see coats on people behind him, breath in the air. Times Square looked electric in a way your street never did. It felt far away and somehow close at the same time. By 9 o'clock, the energy shifted. People refilled glasses more often. Laughter got louder. Someone told a story everyone had already heard, and everyone listened anyway. Kids were allowed to stay up no matter how tired they were. This wasn't negotiable. Midnight was a big deal. You didn't miss it. Not in the 70s. Not ever. The house grew warmer as the night went on. Windows fogged up. Someone cracked one open upstairs and immediately shut it again. Outside, the snow reflected the streetlights, making everything look brighter and emptier at the same time. The neighborhood was quiet in a way it never was during the day. No cars, no music. Just the muffled sound of laughter drifting from house to house, proof that the same thing was happening everywhere. Some men slipped out to the garage or the porch, beer in hand, jackets half on, saying they just needed some air. They stood there longer than necessary, breath visible, talking quietly, watching the cold settle in. Inside, the women checked trays, refilled bowls, made sure there was still enough of everything. There always was. As 11 approached, the room slowly pulled itself toward the television. Chairs angled closer. People stood behind the couch. Kids sat on the floor, legs crossed, fighting sleep. The clock on the wall felt louder than usual, ticking its way forward. Someone turned down the lights just a little, not for effect, just because it felt right. 5 minutes to midnight. Glasses were topped off. Even the kids got refills, grape juice poured carefully so it looked like champagne. Someone shushed the room even though everyone was already paying attention. Dick Clark talked about the year like it had been one long thing, not 12 separate months. No countdown yet. Just waiting. There was no 10 to 1. Not really. You watched the ball. You listened. You waited for the moment you knew was coming, but still somehow felt sudden. When midnight hit, it wasn't loud. It was immediate. Cheers erupted, glasses clinked, people hugged whoever was closest, whether they knew them well or not. Happy New Year echoed over and over, overlapping, losing meaning and gaining something else instead. Auld Lang Syne played through the television speakers, and everyone sang along, even though nobody knew all the words. Arms went around shoulders, hands clasped. The room swayed slightly, like it was breathing together. For a moment, nothing else existed. Not work, not money, not whatever was coming next. Just that room, that night, that sound. After midnight, the night loosened. Kids fell asleep on couches, coats used as blankets. Adults talked in smaller groups now, conversations quieter, slower. Someone stepped outside again and noticed how still everything was. Snow untouched, streets empty. The new year had arrived, and it looked exactly like the old one, just colder. Sometime after 1, people started drifting home. Not all at once, one by one, long goodbyes, promises to call, hugs that lingered. The door opened and closed again and again, each time letting the cold remind you that winter wasn't going anywhere just because the calendar changed. New Year's Day came quietly. Grey light through the curtains. The house smelled like smoke and coffee, and something sweet left out too long. Decorations slumped. Empty bottles lined the counter. The television played softly. Some parade or concert nobody was really watching. Dad slept in the recliner, mouth open, tie still on. Mum moved carefully through the kitchen, starting something warm, something familiar. Outside, the neighborhood was silent. No traffic, no kids, just snow and the sound of your own footsteps if you went out, scarf pulled tight, breath sharp in the cold air. Everyone else was doing the same thing behind closed doors, recovering, resetting, waiting for normal life to come back on the 2nd or 3rd. And eventually it did. Decorations came down, chairs went back to the garage, the card table folded up. Another year started quietly, without ceremony, but the memory stayed, that feeling of everyone stopping at the same moment, watching the same screen, waiting for the same thing. In the middle of winter, when the world felt smaller and closer, America welcomed the new year together. Not loudly, not perfectly, but completely.